tubing kind of stays on there. This isn't all that appealing. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I just want to start off by saying thank you for all the suggestions on the last video, our chocolate cookie explosion cookies. Got a lot of great feedback from you guys as to why that recipe may have gone wrong. Anywhere from using casein protein powder instead of whey, using a different sweetener, maybe not adding water to the PB2 powder. It seems that that's in some of the recipes in some of the books, but not in other books. Not sure why that's the case, unless some of you that were saying that you did have it or didn't have it, maybe you got a book somewhere you probably shouldn't have, but a couple people said they got the paid version of the book, and some said that it did say to add water to it, some say that it said just to add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients, so not sure what happened there. Got separate copies of paid books out there. I don't know. That's a story for a different day. We're gonna go back into the Ultimate Anabolic Cookbook 2.0. We're gonna take a look at not one, not two, but 3 rice cake treats, doing a comparison with the Rice Krispies Treats. We all know these, childhood classic snack. The problem is that despite their gooiness, despite their sweetness, nutritionally, they kind of suck. So we're gonna take a comparison to Coach Greg's 3 rice cake treats. We're gonna put those together. We're gonna set them up with the Rice Krispie Treat. We're gonna do a little taste test and see how they measure up. Is it an 8 out of 10? Let's find out. It could be better. Here we go. So before we start assembling these 3 rice cake treats here, I just want to have another quick side note and say that I appreciate the love that all of you are giving the channel these days. Please, if you can help me out a little bit more by smashing that like button and commenting anything down below, it really does help with the YouTube algorithm, and I greatly appreciate it. Say anything in the comment, doesn't matter what it is. You can talk about how goofy I sound, you can talk about how the recipes look, if you've tried it, if you haven't tried it, just give me something in the comment section below and it really helps me out, so I appreciate it. Alright, let's get back to making these rice cake treats. They're all made pretty similar, but there's subtle differences with each one. So first one we have up today is going to be our chocolate PB chilled rice cake. First off, what we're gonna do is start mixing our PB2 powder, 12 grams. 12 grams exactly, on the money, great. And then adding in with that, we're also gonna use some of our whey protein. We're gonna mix in 16 grams of this. 16 grams, on the money. Okay, great. Next, we're going to add water slowly, and then we're going to mix this consistency together. What we're going to do is our simmering trick. We're just going to mix in some of this chocolatey, peanut buttery goodness. We want to get a nice mix. It's just going to help it come together a little bit easier. Simmering it through with our fork. If you haven't heard of the simmering, go back and check out the other video. I talk about it in that one, our chocolate cookie explosion. But then we have to add in about 30 milliliters, which is about 2 tablespoons of water. We're gonna do it nice and slow. So we're gonna add a little bit in, and then we're gonna start doing a little bit of mixing. We didn't put all of it in there. We get a good consistency that's spreadable and not gonna leak over the sides of our rice cakes, because that turns into a drippy mess. We'll go a little bit more at a time, about another third of the water going in, and we're mixing it around. It is starting to thicken up. Way thicker than for our chocolate cookie explosion mix, that's for sure. And I think actually, not even having used all of the water, I think this is going to be a similar peanut butter consistency that's going to spread really well over the rice cake. So I think this is going to be good here. We're actually going to add in a little bit of sweetness. This part's optional. We're going to add in some Splenda with this, make it a little bit sweeter. I like my treat sweet, and because we're comparing it to a Rice Krispies treat, we probably want it to be as sweet as possible because we know those are. So we're going to dump 1 packet of our Splenda sweetener in. Good there, and then we're just going to give it another mix, disperse that around a little bit better. Very good. Okay, now that we have that all situated, we can start to spread this onto our rice cakes. We have our plate and our 3 rice cakes that we're going to start adding this stuff on here. And what I'm going to do is just place a little bit right in the center of each rice cake. This is looking good. We want all of that anabolic goodness on each rice cake. Excellent. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is take the top of our spoon and just kind of even out the spread over the rice cake. See, we're getting just up to the edges here. All 3 is in the serving size, so as long as you eat all 3, you're gonna get all the goodness. I have a feeling this is gonna be finger looking good, so we'll be using that plate to just spoon it right up with the finger. You know, give it one of those. Gotta get a little dirty in all our videos, so, oh, dripping off. Look at that. Oh, so good. Little taste test. It only gets easier from here. Next up, what we're gonna do is add some strawberries on top here. Already weighed out 30 grams of strawberries are gonna go on top. We're gonna evenly disperse these. Now the recipe does say that you could use banana, you could use apple, you could use strawberry. The banana and apple is gonna be in 2 of our other ones, so I wanted to make sure we had a good variety of flavors today. So we're using strawberries for this. Honestly, strawberries are so low in calories, you could probably use more than 30 grams and it would still come out to an appropriate calorie count. That's not gonna put you over on anything. Good, all right, so we got a little bit of strawberry on all 3 of our rice cakes. And guess what, guys? We're almost done with this one. This is the only one of our 3 rice cake treats that requires 1 extra step. So what we have to do with these chilled rice cakes is put them into the freezer for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll take them out. All right, so let's put these into the freezer now. All right, guys, so while we're waiting for those to finish up in the freezer for 10 or 15 minutes or so, we're gonna go on to our next rice cake, which is the apple cinnamon protein rice cake. And if you thought the last one was easy, this one's even easier. We're gonna move these off to the side. Again, we're gonna use our scale, and guess what we're gonna mix up? You got it, our PB2 that we're ready to put in there again. And for this one, very similar to the last one, it might even sound identical. We are going to be using 12 grams of our powdered peanut butter. 12 on the money, all right. And our next part is even more anabolic than last time. We're using a full scoop or 33 grams of our chocolate whey protein that we're going to add in there. Perfect. Also now going to add in our Splenda first this time. See if this makes it a little bit sweeter. Before we start mixing it together, we're gonna put in our Splenda right on top, and then we're gonna use our little siffering trick. Just give it a little bit of a swirl to get the mixture going, and then we're gonna siffer it through the fork. As Coach Greg likes, maximum sweetness here. We have our mixture done there. Next up, we gotta add some water, get it to the appropriate thickness. I'm going to try to even make this one thicker than last time, because before I thought it was a little too liquidy on our chilled rice cake version that we did. Those are gonna be in the freezer for a little bit, so I think they'll be okay when it's time to eat, but this one is gonna be at about room temperature, so we're just gonna add a little bit of water. I wanna get a nice thick consistency. A nice spreadable but thick consistency. Thick with 3 C's here. You need more for this particular recipe. Here we're making 6. You could probably just cut the recipe in half if you only wanted to make 3, but once you guys see the macros at the end here, I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. Okay, so our mixture is done there. We have our 6 rice cakes, and we're gonna do the same thing we did last time. And right into the center of each rice cake. If you do happen to have a little bit more on one than you do the other, it's okay. As long as you're eating all of it, doesn't matter. You're gonna get all the same macros in. The best part about this recipe, guys, is it just gets easier as you go. So next up, we're gonna put our fruit on top. So of course, what's going to be coming on next is our sliced apples. We're gonna just try to evenly disperse all of our apple slices across each rice cake. All our appropriate coverage. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And guys, I'm not kidding. Once you see the macros on these for this amount of volume, you guys are gonna be shocked. This is our second one, ready to go here. Our third and final rice cake treat that we're going to be making today is the chocolate peanut butter banana rice cake. This one sounds amazing. The instructions are not all that different from our first one. Or our second one, really. So it's not more rice cakes than last time, but it's more rice cakes than last time. So let's get to assembling again. So it's gonna sound very familiar. We're starting here with our 12 grams of PB2 powder. Then we're back to our 16 grams of whey protein, chocolate, naturally. Again, we're gonna add in our water nice and slow. Then we will start mixing it up here. I think having done the first 2, I would say the thicker you make your mixture, the easier it will be to spread and for it not to fall over the sides. So be very slow when you're pouring in that water, because again, we want it to be thicker than last time. All right, and we're gonna go like we did on the first one. We're gonna add the Splenda in after we put the water in. Just spread it around a little bit there. And we're gonna mix it up. We're ready to start our assembly process, which is going to be very intricate, guys. Okay, so next what we have to put on top of these is 110 grams of sliced banana. Okay, so we got a couple more minutes to let our chilled rice cakes finish up. Then we're gonna put all these on a plate, give them a little taste comparison with our Rice Krispie Treats. All right, here we go. All right, guys, so let's look at the masterpieces that we have here. All this rice cake goodness that we're going to taste test right now, and we are going to compare it to the these guys. All right guys, best part of the video, time to do the taste test. You guys saw what these look like. Now let's find out what they taste like, and then we're gonna compare it to the Rice Krispie Treat, and then we're gonna take a look at the macros at the very end to see how it compares in terms of volume, in terms of protein, fiber, all that. We're gonna break it down and take a look at it at the end. Let's find out how good these taste. Okay, where to begin? It's so overwhelming. It's a lot of rice cakes. I'm obviously not gonna eat all of these today. That would be too much volume for one day. But what we are gonna do is try each one. So I think we're gonna start here with our chocolate peanut butter chilled rice cake. So we're gonna take a bite of this one first. Let's see how it tastes. That's good. When cold and chilled with the strawberry, it's got a good flavor to it. Probably what this compares to the most is those chocolate covered strawberries. I can see why you put these in the freezer. The strawberries freeze up nice, gives it a great texture when you bite into it. She's getting that burst of chocolate, but also the strawberry flavor is there too. This would be a great summertime treat, I think, being cold and chilled. I don't know if you guys can see, but the mixture freezes up nice too and kind of stays on there. It's kind of like a frozen treat. You don't have to worry about it dripping off or anything like that. So good. All right, we're gonna reserve judgment on our rating until after we try them all. Next up, why don't we just go in order? Moving to the left. We're gonna go on to our chocolate peanut butter banana rice cake next. These flavors work really well too. Well, that's good. So if you like Coach Greg's PB2 and banana sandwich, you're gonna love this because you're gonna get that same flavoring, but it's actually going to be more volume again because you have 4 rice cakes as opposed to the 2 slices of bread. It'd be way more fully than this. So good, oh man. Banana and the peanut butter flavor go really well together and not a lot of calories, so, which we'll see at the end. Pass. Next, I'm just gonna slide these down. So last but certainly not least, we have our apple cinnamon protein rice cake, which when I was putting it together, I did forget a crucial step. You can't have them be apple cinnamon protein rice cakes without the, cinnamon. All right, so we're gonna sprinkle a little bit of this on to each one. All right, that's good there. Let's try one of these now that we got the cinnamon on top, all complete, ready to go. Let's take a bite. Oh wow, this is really good. The cinnamon really adds a touch. I'm glad I didn't forget to put that on there because I think it's a totally different taste if you don't have that on there, obviously. Yeah, don't know if I like the chocolate in there with this one, but the chocolate and cinnamon, not my favorite, but the cinnamon with the apple. I think even if you just did a PB mixture only without the chocolate, it would taste good as well. I also wouldn't mind trying it with a vanilla-based protein. That would probably be tasty too. It's still not bad. Not bad at all. Bring our other ones back into view here. So we tried all 3. Only that's left now is to try one of these, which I didn't make, but it's in our comparison test today, so we're gonna take a look. So let's open up one of these Rice Krispie Treats. That's what you get. Not a lot of volume in the calories, as you're gonna see in a second. I haven't had one of these in, geez, I don't even remember when. It's gotta be over a decade. Let's see. Definitely chewier. And of course you got that engineered sugar craving, gonna want to eat a whole box of these tastes as soon as you take a bite. Definitely very sweet. Obviously there's that marshmallowy taste in there. But honestly, after having these rice cakes, this isn't all that appealing. The flavors in these, I think, are actually better than the flavors in this. Whole food that tastes good, you don't even want this junk anymore. And I can't even take another bite, to be honest. It's too sweet, and for me to say it's too sweet, that means it's really too sweet because I like sweet as much as Coach Greg likes sweet. Let's go back to our rice cake treats that we have here that are actually good and very anabolic. I'm gonna flash up the macros for each one of these when I give them a rating. We're gonna go back to our chocolate peanut butter chilled rice cakes. These here I think are a solid 9 out of 10, no doubt about it. You know what, I'm gonna actually say they're a 10 out of 10. These were delicious, right out of the freezer. 10 out of 10. Gotta have these, must do. If I had to pick one of these, I would definitely go with that one in terms of flavor. I think it's well balanced with the 3 rice cakes where you wouldn't seem like you're too full either. The chocolate peanut butter banana rice cake, I liked it. I thought it was very good, pretty solid. I do like it as an alternative to the banana and peanut buttered snack. This is definitely gonna be way more satisfying, way more filling, and with a lot more protein in it, as you can see here with the macros. Definitely, 9 out of 10 here. Slide everything over here, we get to our apple cinnamon rice cake. And this one was really good. I think I like the cinnamon flavor. I just don't know if I like chocolate with the apple. I think more of a vanilla-based protein powder might be better in terms of what I like. But overall, definitely an 8 out of 10. Absolutely. Once you start looking at the macros for this and you see the amount of volume that you have, 6 rice cakes, you're gonna feel full. If I had to rank them, I would say we went in order in which we tried them, which is with the chilled rice cake version, the banana, and then the apple version after that. You're not gonna go wrong having any one of these. Really, it probably comes down to personal preference. And once you start looking at the macros, especially, you can see this one here does not have that many calories in it for the amount of food that you're having. It's a lot. So let me know what you think. Which one do you guys think you would like? Have you tried these? What do you think of the PB2 and whey protein mixture? What do you think of the different fruit options? I think it's totally better than a Rice Krispie Treat. I probably already knew that going in, but once you start having this type of food where there's so much volume, it's so flavorful, you're getting that sweetness with the correct artificial sweetener. We're not using the monk fruit anymore, the Splenda. You could totally tell it's just way sweeter. These were all good. I like the strawberry one the best. It was chilled. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit that like button. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Guys, I almost forgot. Buy his frickin' cookbook, would you?